And then it's all around the garden.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to step on this hose.
We don't want to step on any of the hoses.
Yeah, near the garden.
What's this? That's a weed.
We don't need weeds. Oh.
There's 4 tomatoes in here.
Can we pull one out?
No, you'll kill them if you pull them out.
Are they still growing?
Yeah, they're just babies. Soon they're gonna be this big.
Like bigger than a tomato, like this?
Yep.
Like all the way to the sky?
All the way there. Do you know what this is?
No.
This is mint. Try it. It tastes minty. Kind of like mint gum.
Yeah.
Like, smell it.
It smells like mint.
It tastes like mint.
Tastes like mint.
You can throw it back in here. So these are chives. They taste like garlic.
Garlic?
Mm-hmm.
Let me try. Garlic tastes disgusting.
Good morning, guys. I am currently fixing the sprinkler system, the drip system that we just installed, because it froze one night. I guess there was still water in the lines, and several of these lines burst. Ta-da, that's fixed. I think about 4 of them burst, and it wasn't too major. It just took like a couple more feet of black line. But I have good news this morning. The garden is almost completely planted out. I came out with Grady this morning and he was helping me plant the peppers, but we walked through the garden and I gave him some chives and some mint to try, and then he spent the rest of the morning hunting for worms. So I will not be doing a garden tour today. This is just a little update vlog because I still have to plant out the in-ground garden, but we did get all of the trellises up that I'm going to be using for the year, and most of my peppers and tomatoes are planted. We have nothing in the 10-day forecast for even below 50. All of the lows are in the 50s. The highs during the day are in the 80s. It's warming up pretty quickly here in Southwest. And I'm so excited. This is like the first day of spring for me, getting to plant out the garden. But I will show you the trellises, and I'm very excited for this. I mean, I had 3 trellises last year. So what we just added was another arching trellis, and basically now I have a trellis tunnel, which hopefully will have tons of beans hanging down in the middle. And then here I have a tomato bed this is going to be a tomato bed on the inside. I've put up this half a cattle panel. This whole bed is about 10 feet long. So I think I'm gonna have 8 or 9 tomatoes along here, and then cucumbers on this end. And I still have not put the cucumber trellis in, but that's super easy. I don't think I'll need Chase for that one. I did need his help for the arching trellis and this tomato trellis back here. It's almost food time in the garden.
And then we get a hammer and then we smash some of the brick, and then we put it on here. And then once we're done, it's hard to carry.
So they have to have a hammer to make the hammer?
So Chase put a quick connect on this for me, which is super awesome because this hose waters all of the raised garden beds and the other hose waters the in-ground garden beds on the other end. And rather than trying to untwist the hose every time I need to switch it over, I've never used a quick connect before, but I'm in love. But let me turn this water on to see if we have any holes. That line's good. That line's good. That line's good. This is not good. Alright, so I have one more to fix here. And right here. It's convenient that they all seem to burst at the connectors because I can just cut a little bit off and then reattach it to the connector instead of having to use extra line. I'm not giving it back, Mom. I need it for emergencies. So pro tip from my mom is to bring out some hot water to stick the ends of the hoses in, and they're easier to thread on the connectors. So as you guys know, if you follow me regularly, I have not had this drip system for very long. And I want to say the lines burst about a week ago. I don't know how it happened. I didn't turn the water on when it was frozen or anything. Anytime I've watered has been in the middle of the day. But there just must have been water still stuck in the lines overnight because we were freezing several nights in a row a couple weeks back. So that must have been it, and I didn't realize how much I wanted a drip system until I didn't have it anymore, because I spent this last week watering the garden by hand, and I remember how long it takes. If my mom had not helped me put this in this year, I would be out here for like 2 hours or more, probably more, as the plants grow every day. And I've spent the last 3 years that I've had this garden watering by hand, and it's great. It's really, really peaceful to come out here in the mornings early before it gets warm, listen to the birds, and you know, every time you're watering, you're checking up on your plants, you're pulling little weeds. But 2 to 3 hours of my day every day is very, very hard to do. Okay, so I think the drip system is done. And I want to test it out because I just planted all of these peppers and I lined them up with the holes mostly. I'm really bad at planting in rows, like set spaces apart. I just kind of like to throw things around willy-nilly, but we'll see if it works. We have liftoff. Can you guys hear it? Ah! Not seeing all of the lines go. Oh yeah, that is going, just slowly. Now I do not have this drip system on everything. Main priority here would be tomatoes and these plants within the bed, but if you were with me the other day when we planted beans, I can't put any drip line here. I didn't account for that when we put in the drip system. And I also didn't run any lines. I can of course run them later. I just haven't done it now. But I don't have any lines in either of these 1x4 beds. So I will still be doing a little bit of watering by hand, which is not an issue. I'm gonna also have several potted plants because I have too many plants and I just need to throw some pots out here. Same goes for this lovely bed of mint and lemon balm, and these are chives. I'm gonna have to water this by hand regularly as well. And I can do that one of two ways. I can either run a separate hose out here from my hose bib, or what I have been using lately is my rainwater collection barrel. So Chase just recently resurfaced the bottom of this because it tends to settle over the year, and we need this hole to stay right under the gutter spout. And I realize we should probably put this on concrete and do all of the work for that. I also have 2 more rain barrels to put, one here And then one on the other side of the house, I have a second rain barrel. But we have these two we still need to set up, and haven't quite figured out how we're gonna do that, because we will have to run a pipe from, an overflow pipe from this barrel into the next, so that I can just have one gutter spout. It's on the to-do list. It's not high up on the to-do list, but it will get done eventually. But for now, I use this with a hose I have running to the garden, and that's what I will use to water all of those spots that my drip line isn't reaching. I also have to water these onions and the garlic over there by hand, because when I planted the onions and garlic, we didn't have the drip lines in. So it's not, they're not really in rows here where the water would reach all of the plants. All right guys, this is just a short little vlog today. I'm doing a lot of work in the garden planting, but I want to have everything done and in so I can give you guys a complete tour of all the plants that I have, yay, tomorrow. So thank you for joining me. I'm gonna go get my hands dirty.